Yeah.
Why they call you Swim?
Oh. Yeah. Ever feel like just giving up was the thing to do? You got depression, anxiety, and some anger too. Some people say just pray about it and maybe you should. But I can teach you how to handle it, it's still all good. You may not know how to deal with most of all the stress. You put the mask on your face to hide it from the rest. We keep the feelings inside and push them down below. But that don't help us at all, but you already know. Sometimes just talking about it can get the feelings out. But if you're feeling uncomfortable, try another route. I got some tools you can use that I want you to see. Plenty of coping mechanisms taught to you by me. Welcome to the Dope Black Therapist Podcast. I'm your host, Blaze. Let's get into it. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Dope Black Therapist Podcast. I am so happy that you're here. Glad that you're listening. Glad that you're watching it if you're on YouTube. Whew. I'm going to tell you what. One of the things that I have come to notice just within the last few weeks is I am bored. You know, I'm simply bored. And I was meditating today, and I know that's one of those things that I usually use to actually ground myself and just to quiet everything down and just to get back into a sense. I meditate several times a week, and it hit me today, during my meditation. It's like I'm really just bored. And my question to myself is like, why? What's the cause? What's the cause of the boredom? What's the cause of the boredom? What's the real reason of why I'm bored? What's really going on? Because work is busy. I'm getting new clients. I'm getting new opportunities, and the Black Father Summit is coming up this month, and so I'm super busy with all of those things. But for some reason, it doesn't feel like it's quite enough, because that's the stuff that I'm supposed to do. Sorry. This slip of the fingers for those who are on YouTube is turn my camera off. Anyway, I'm those things are the things that I'm supposed to do. And it doesn't feel like those things are like, it's challenging. And that's like, no, don't get me wrong. Those things are challenging. But they are also things that I do on a regular basis, So I started to do a little bit of research, like what are some causes of boredom? And so some of the things that they talked about was not getting enough rest, inadequate nutrition, or mental stimulation, monotony of the mind or environment, or a high need of excitement. Those are just a few, that they listed. Looking at an article on Psychology Today. So let's look at the first one, not enough rest. So if we are tossing and turning, if we're not getting adequate sleep because we're trying to grind all the time, that could cause a little bit of boredom. Personally, I've been sleeping okay. I had a great night of sleep last night. I woke up energized. I'm ready to get moving. The next one says inadequate nutrition. That's something that's always been an issue. I don't know about y'all, but I love me some desserts. Desserts are my go-to. You give me some sweets, then I'm all over it, And I'm from the South, so I love fried food and gravy and things and high fat and all these different types of things that are not very good for me, And let's be real, I've been eating like crap, for the past week. And a lot of it is just because I don't want to cook. or if I go out, I'm going to eat like what's convenient. I don't want to eat the stuff. Like if I'm looking at the menu and I got an opportunity to get a big ass juicy burger and some fries, I'm going to choose that over the salad every time. And that's my problem, you know, knowing that when I'm eating better, you know, y'all remember when I was vegan-ish this time last year, and how I was talking about how good I was feeling and all of that type of stuff. And I know that I feel better when I'm eating better. And for some reason, I don't want to do it. I just want to do what I want to do, like Bobby Brown, because it's my prerogative, right? Another thing is the mental stimulation piece. You know, I'm being pushed and I'm being challenged in several different areas, especially when it comes to business. You know, I'm being challenged by my colleagues. I'm being challenged by people who want to support me. I'm being challenged, you know, by supervisors and everyone else to continue to get better. And that's one of those things. It's like, okay, I got the mental stimulation is cool. Outside of that, though, what am I being mentally stimulated by? You know, I'm not reading as much as I usually do, and I'm discovering that I'm reading now to achieve a goal of the amount of books that I had. I want to read 36 books, and I'm reading to meet that goal and not reading to really digest the information that I'm reading. And I picked that up recently, and I'm like, I don't even remember what I just read. I'm just trying to get to the end of this book. And that's not good, especially for someone in the field who was in my field of mental health, when I'm trying to learn more and how to do my job better. That's not a good thing for me to do. You know, now if I'm reading for like pleasure, that's different. You know, but I'm reading things and it usually will pique my interest. And again, my interest isn't piqued because I'm looking at this goal. Okay, I read 36 books, but I'm just like, am I retaining anything? You know, and that's one of those issues. And I think I'm not being mentally stimulated in the things that normally interest me. And that kind of worries me because it's like, am I headed towards burnout? You know, am I headed towards burnout? You know, because I know that a lot of times when we stop doing things that interest us, that's more along the lines of depression. You know, and some of the symptoms for depression, you know, model what burnout looks like. You know, being tired all the time, being fatigued, and not finding interest in certain things, and not wanting to go to work, and not wanting to do certain things. You know, and that's one of the things that are continuing to pop up for me. And the next thing we talked about was monotony in the mind or environment. So what does that mean? That means you're doing the same shit over and over and over and over and over again. It's repetitive. You already know, you know what to expect, you know what to do. You know what your job is going to entail for that day. And while I'm not dealing with monotony in the overall sense, because I never know what I'm going to see from one client to the next, but I think the aspect of going to an office, sitting in a chair and talking, or sitting at my desk and doing virtual assessments and stuff and virtual therapy sessions, that's the same thing. And I think that's why I've been wanting to do more speaking engagements and workshops, because it's not the same thing. I get to move and I get to talk and I get to showcase what I know and help people in different ways instead of sitting in a chair and being mobile. Now, sometimes in my therapy sessions, you know, we'll go outside and we'll walk, or, you know, for some clients, I'll bring the boxing pads in, and they put their gloves on, and we'll release anger that way. But those are few and far between, you know, and that's one of the things that I miss. I think I miss the excitement of I miss being a firefighter. You know, I miss that sometimes, and I know that sometimes we miss the jobs that we usually have, and the way we leave certain jobs because it's for the better, right? We leave certain jobs because it's for the better for us, and we're doing these things because it is really and truly what we really want to do, right? You know, I see the fire truck every day as they drive by my office, and I get excited because, man, I used to drive those things, and I miss that, and I think that's what's what's really happening here is that I'm missing excitement. I'm missing excitement. And I remember talking about before how I lost my fun. I lost my fun for so long, and I was just sitting and I would be miserable, and I wouldn't want to go out and do anything. I didn't think that it was worthwhile for me to go out and do stuff. And I was miserable, you know, and I found my fun again, and I started dancing, and it's cool, and it was great. And that's one of the things. That's how things get exciting again, you know. And so I'm thinking about ways that what can we do to bring that excitement back into our life? What can we do to bring that joy back into our life? What can we do to combat boredom? Because when we bored, we make bad decisions. We get bored and it's just like, I know I shouldn't do this. And it's like, whatever. I'm just going to do it anyway because I'm bored. So a lot of people like get on dating apps and they just swipe. They don't care. They're not trying to look for anything. They're bored. So they swipe. It's just something to do with your fingers. I'm just swiping. I'm not trying to meet anyone, or there are times where, I'm just going to sit here on this couch and not do anything because I'm bored. Or when we're bored, we reach out to people who we shouldn't reach out to, because we're bored. Or we go out and we might get on social media and just start, we might troll people or do whatever just because we're bored. Instead of taking all of that time and all of that negativity and using it towards something, that's not going to be beneficial for us or anyone else. What happens when we start to flip it? What happens when we dig down deep and just like combat that boredom with the things that we really enjoy? I told you, after I meditated this morning, I was like, okay, all right, Blaze, we're not going to just sit here and just watch TV all day long. We're not going to just sit here and just like do nothing and just like play on our phone. Like yesterday was a completely lazy day, right? We need those lazy days, but I was like lazy. Like I was on TikTok for so damn long and looking up shit and just like, it's just dumb shit when I could have been so productive, But today I woke up and I was like, I'm getting tired of this shit. So I woke up, I danced. That was my workout. I know I needed to work out. I danced and I loved it. And I have so like this, my whole vibe is just like a whole lot better now. It's like I'm motivated to get shit done. I've already then took my dog on a mile walk. I got my workout in. I've been to the grocery store. I'm doing a podcast right now. I'm doing laundry while the podcast is going. I'm going to start cleaning up the house after this. I'm going to start working on the Black Father Summit after this. And like, I'm motivated again because it's those things that need to get done, So what are the things that you can do to combat that boredom? What is it that you like to do that you haven't done in so long? What are the things that bring you joy and happiness that you haven't allowed yourself to do? Do those things, and don't let it fall to the wayside. We know those things make us happy, but for some reason we stop. And it's just like, why? Like, for real, why do we do that? It doesn't serve us any type of purpose. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't serve us any type of purpose at all. So do those things. Get out of that boredom. Snap out of that shit. And just like, let's make some shit happen. We're worth it. And I'm not saying grind and never take breaks. I'm not saying that at all. But you know what it feels like when you're bored. You know what it feels like when you are making decisions that are not beneficial. You know what you're doing when you pop online and you just start trolling people because you're just trying to see something going because you don't have anything else to do. Don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to other people. It's not fair to either of you. So break that boredom. Do something productive with yourself. I'm super excited about the rest of this day. And I'm excited about planning and everything that's coming up. You know, my because of that rest and because of me allowing myself to dance and do these things, it's just like the wheels are turning so fast up here, and there's so many things that I really want to accomplish. And I'm like, hell yeah, let's go and get the shit done. You know, that boredom is broken. So let's get after it. August 24th at the Southeast Raleigh YMCA from 9 to about 4, we'll be having a Black Father Summit. If you haven't registered, please go to www.blackfathersummit.com. It's a free event, free blood pressure screenings, free diabetes screenings, and we're going to have breakout sessions all during the day. We're going to be talking about the infrastructure of fatherhood. We're going to talk about how to co-parent well. We're going to talk about legacy and how to take care of our families and our children by also taking care of ourselves. And we're going to talk about trauma and how trauma affects your parenting. You know, we'll have vendors there as well. So you'll have time, you'll be able to check out some things and, you know, see what they're selling and buy some of those things, and we'll go from there. We're also looking for sponsors. If you would love to donate to this cause, please go to blackfathersummit.com, click donate, and help us out that way. You know, we really do appreciate it. We're super excited about this event, and hopefully this is the first of many, many to come. So remember, you are loved, you are valued, and you are dope as hell. And we'll see you on the next go round. Peace.